Hi class, my name is Giovanni Jacobs and welcome to my Child Welfare Services presentation. This is a case study on Hector and Stephanie. Okay, so today, first we're gonna go over a brief overview of the family life of Hector and Stephanie. Then we're going to talk about the assessment tools utilized for this report, the types of trauma experienced by the children, recommended interventions for the family, permanency goals for Hector and Stephanie, and then we're going to conclude with talking about how trauma-informed care can better assist this family. Okay, let's get started. Introduction. Hector and Stephanie are sibling children with a history of family violence. After experiencing years of abuse, Hector stabbed his father, following a violent fight the mother and father were having on Stephanie's birthday. Stephanie is struggling with depression and failing school. Yes, so now we're going to actually talk about quickly, really briefly, engagement strategies used for this family. Okay, so partnership and cooperation. Treat the family as partners, not patients. And what I mean by that is treat them as if they have, because they do have agency in the direction of their own life. A lot of times people, when they feel like they're being talked down to, are less inclined to engage. By treating the family as if they're still making the decisions in their life, they're still making the choices on their own accord, they're more likely to remain engaged. Empowerment. Acknowledge each member of the family's strengths. Instead of always focusing on the weaknesses, we can focus on what the strengths they offer to the family. What do they bring to the table in a positive light? That will boost self-esteem all around. And then finally, trauma-informed methods, recognizing the parent's own traumatic experience. A lot of times we don't recognize that our maybe negative behaviors comes from our own traumatic experience and trauma that we've never dealt with, and a lot of these families haven't dealt with. And so this will be a great way to bridge that gap. Okay, let's keep going. About the clients. So Hector is 15. He has a history of domestic violence, as we've discussed. He's consistently witnessed his mother be abused by his father. Hector violently stabbed his father, indicating a tendency for physically harmful aggression. Overall, Hector is conscious of his potential for violence. He understands his triggers and risk factors. Now let's talk about Stephanie. Stephanie is 12, trauma type, like we've already mentioned, domestic violence. Stephanie's depression stems from witnessing violence in her home. Her depression is interfering with her ability to function at school, and her grades are suffering. Stephanie has instability in her relationships with her brother and her father. She feels concerned, and at the same time, she's resentful. Assessment for the parents. So I put a question mark here because this wasn't something that I initially touched on in my report, but looking over the notes and reading the feedback, it occurred to me that the mom could benefit from a parental capacity assessment. It's an assessment used to determine parental abilities, perceptions, and understanding to provide a stable and safe home to the children. And then the dad could use the parenting stress index. It's a screening and diagnostic assessment tool commonly used to measure parent-child stress. You'll see this in commonly in domestic violence cases. I thought these assessments were imperative for the family's overall plan, and moving forward. It shouldn't just be the children that are assessed. And so I thought that needed to be added. Let's talk about safety next. Oh, safety. Okay, so safety, how can we maintain safety, get safety for this family? There's 3 steps that I believe should be discussed. And let's go with step 1, establishing safety. This requires activities to ensure the family's environment becomes secure enough in a suitable time frame. So, we could work with the family and designate how much time we can create that kind of environment, what activities we need to work on to get there. And step 2, sustain safety. That means continued support until the changes become permanent. And then also this could be a good step where if additional resources are needed to ensure the safety, it can be requested in this step. And then there's step 3, assist the parents. This step is to support Hector's parents develop healthy strategies that can prevent triggering events that often cause the family violence that they tend to see in the home. Okay, let's get to interventions. Okay, these are the 4 different interventions I think the family could really benefit from. CPC, CBT focuses on the parent-child relationships. Parent-child interaction therapy would address Hector's anger towards his parents, PCIT. And then there's the trauma systems therapy, TST, specifically would be used for Stephanie so she can learn to be less reactive to stressful triggers. And then I have sanctuary model. This is for children that have experienced interpersonal violence, but it's actually mainly used in like outside the home. So juvenile detentions, maybe foster homes, maybe an orphanage. It's so that they get the therapy that they need, but maybe in a larger, out of the home, larger setting. And I thought that would be perfect for Hector, who's in and out of juvenile detention homes and detention centers. So this would be ideally for him. Okay, permanency goals for Hector. Our goals for Hector are to remain out of juvenile detention centers consistently for an entire calendar year. Permanent reunification plan with mother and sister. Can't live in the same home as the father. It's just too volatile, too dangerous. Continued supervision, interventions, and therapies with medical professionals and social workers. And for Stephanie, I suggest she remain home with the mother and brother, but there be supervised visits with the dad due to, again, the just the consistency of violence. And although Stephanie herself doesn't seem to have suffered from that kind of abuse, physical abuse, it's clear the emotional abuse has taken a toll on her. And another goal for Stephanie is maintain regular therapy sessions. Stephanie's not permitted to miss more than 1 appointment per quarter. Okay, let's now go and talk about trauma-informed care. Trauma-informed care approach recognizes the complete picture of Hector and Stephanie's family. By acknowledging the past traumas and the present, the family can receive more efficient care where healing is the focal point. Hector's parents have their own history of trauma, and that has played a role in their parenting abilities. Trauma-informed care can provide new coping skills. And to me, that is the main point of using trauma-informed care, trauma-informed strategies, is that it treats the entire family as victims, which they usually are. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that, and it doesn't lay all the blame on one parent or both parents. It just says that these are the things that we need to work on, and here's why they've happened and what we can do to move forward. And I truly think that would create stability for this family and for other families as well. Okay, that's my presentation. Thank you so much for a great semester. It's been very interesting. This has been a great class, and thank you all for your kind words on the discussion post. And I really enjoyed reading and getting to know everybody's thoughts, and it's been a lot of fun. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next semester.